This is the Under the Ring Report. And now, the guys who make wrestling podcasting too sweet. John the Flesh Wound and Cousin Tom.
And we are back with the Under the Ring Report. With you as usual, this is John. And Tom, how the hell are you?
Hey, I'm great. Feels like forever since we've been together.
That's true, because we did do the Dan Severn thing. So how was your holiday? Did you enjoy Thanksgiving? Eat too much?
Oh, of course. Ate too much. Watched some football and just pretty much sat around. So it was a pretty good holiday.
That was about the same here, and I'm not going to complain too much. I know I told you I was going to get tickets to ACW, so they announced everyone who was going to be at the show. So I'm going to get a chance to see Mick Foley, Mark Henry, Gangrel, Francine and Shane Douglas, Jack Swagger, and Big Cass. So, hey, that's not going to be a bad show at all for those guys coming up in April.
Oh, that's in April. Okay, I was thinking it was closer. So
no, it's late April they do that. April 27th they do that in Oshkosh. So I've already got my tickets and everything. I
imagine you'll probably have a couple more thrown on before then.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you never know. But that, like I said, my wife is going too, so it'll be a good time. We had a blast last year, so looking forward to doing it again.
That'll be cool. That sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah. So you and I have been talking, and it's all over the internet, but probably the biggest free agents in professional wrestling this year is going to be the Elite. I mean, we can easily say that, and if you live under a rock, I mean, that's pretty much Cody. It's the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, and also Kenny Omega. That's pretty much, because Marty's tied up for at least 2 years with Ring of Honor.
Right.
So that is what all the buzz is. If you watch the Being the Elite YouTube show, they pretty much have made that their bit. After All In, they steered their way to saying, okay, we're going to tease where we're going. And mostly it's pretty much a big tease about them going to WWE. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool if we just kind of chat about what we think and how this could change the world of professional wrestling. Because, there's news out there. Meltzer has talked about some things. But with you right now, your gut feeling, what do you think happens with the Elite?
My gut feeling is I don't see them going to WWE.
Okay.
That's my gut feeling. Now, they're going to tease the heck out of it because it draws more eyes.
Yeah.
And, and that's what you want. The bottom line of sports entertainment or professional wrestling is you're trying to draw money. That's no matter where you're at. That's what, who can draw a gate, who can draw the most amount is what you want. That's the whole goal of the thing. So the more they tease and hint and, try to get people talking, the better they're going to come out because more people are going to be paying attention and watching. But what I would think right now, I would not be surprised, and I know this is the rumor, but I would not be surprised if there's another announcement for either an All-In 2 or a separate promotion founded by those guys.
Oh, yeah. I think most fans out there can kind of say that WWE doesn't really look like the place these guys would go. And all you have to do is take a look at how, they've got their T-shirts out there and they're outselling WWE in T-shirt sales. Their merch is going all over the place just for their relationship with Pro Wrestling Tees. And we were there firsthand, and to see that All In was such a big success for these guys, and they had control over what was going on. And the sad thing to me is to watch a lot of these guys that we've enjoyed watching in the indie scene, and they go to WWE, and once they get that WWE treatment, they're never quite the same. Some of the guys break out and they become awesome. But you know what? For every guy that breaks out, there's 5 that just, they're making a paycheck. That's pretty much it. And there's nothing wrong with getting a paycheck.
Their creativity is taken away to some extent. And I know I've heard people say, well, that's their own fault. They need to speak up. But when you're in the giant cog of the WWE, you're not going there to ruffle feathers. You're trying to fit in so you can stay in, basically.
Yeah, you're looking to make a 10-year run, make a lot of money for your family, and make a name for yourself. And I'm with you there. Because it's tough. But the other thing, too, is with NXT and now, the UK NXT, it's almost like they're just collecting talent. Every big name out there. Yeah, they have such a deep talent pool. But I don't know about you, but I can't tell you the last time I watched Raw. But that's the big problem is you have so much talent, but you don't know what to do with it. So do you want to be that next group that goes there and gets blasted down? Or for every guy that ends up not doing anything, there's also an AJ Styles. So, it's hard to say where you'd go depending on who you are.
Well, that's very true. And, you look at the talent that they have collected. It's amazing. But the way I look at it is, okay, so you've got Ricochet, you've got War Machine or the War Raiders or whatever they're called now down in NXT, Velveteen Dream, who, was NXT guy to begin with, but Adam Cole, who was former Bullet Club, the British NXT, those guys are
Pete
amazing
Dunne
guys.
and all those guys. Yeah.
Tyler Bate. Like, I think of guys like Zack Sabre Jr. or Will Ospreay. Like, at what point do they jump and come over and try their hand at this? But what I was going to get to is you have all that, and the way I look at it is, okay, so now they're locked up to the big WWE organization. That means another indie guy now has a shot at getting some attention, getting some eyes on him.
Well,
make a name for yourself.
Think about it. Joey Janelle, he slid right in after some of these spots opened up when the Ricochet and those guys left. There's multiple stars that have been able to slide in and now are becoming big names on the indie scene because, people want talent and they're there just waiting for their shot.
Yeah, there's a guy like Adam Page. That would be like Vince. I'm sure Vince McMahon's drooling over the chance to get his hands on him.
Oh, hell yeah.
That dude's got future star written all over him.
And I mean, he's just now starting to scratch the surface on what he can be. And I mean, getting with the rest of those guys and having the ability to promote him. I mean, because he's not just a phenomenal wrestler. I mean, some of the moves he pulls for a big guy are just ridiculous, but he's got comedic timing. He's got the ability to pull off the act. I mean, that whole thing with Joey Ryan, that gave him a chance to really shine. And so I'm with you. I mean, it's hard to imagine, though, what they could do with a guy like that because so many times you get the guy who has the look and it fails miserably. And that's why I'm with you. I mean, I'd be very nervous to see any of those guys. I mean, because already the Young Bucks are too small in Vince's world to be a tag team. And tag team's already languishing. I mean, 2 years ago, the Usos were the hottest thing on wrestling. You don't hear anything about them, Tag team.
The New Day was right there with them.
And the New Day is still there for comedy, but you hardly ever see the New Day wrestle. Cesaro and what's his name? I mean, together, Sheamus, they've kind of dropped off the face of the earth because tag team wrestling is kind of taken, to me, tag team wrestling is now third behind men's single and women's single. And it's hard for them to do everything at once. So tag team has kind of fallen to the wayside. And unless you're the Revival getting jobbed out on TV, but I look at that and I go, if I'm the Young Bucks, I don't want any part of that crap because the talent they have would never be appreciated because there's so many talented tag teams there. They never get screen time. It doesn't matter who they are.
No, I would love to see them do a small promotion, almost throw back to an old territorial days. And let's say they do it like the old wrestling alliances where you've got your guys, you've got your elite that are your dedicated guys, and there's probably a few others. And then you rotate guys in and out that come in, defend belts and defend tag team titles and middleweight titles. And, you might have a guy, well, it's kind of like what they're doing with Ring of Honor, New Japan, and Lucha Underground and Impact, where guys are rotating in and out. There's no reason with all the indie talent out there that they couldn't get something started, no matter how small it was, that they're already making enough money, put on their own show that was a success. So, if they get a couple other backers, which I've heard the son of the owner of the Jaguars is.
Yep, I've heard those reports.
Yeah. And that's just a rumor. I'm no.
You're no Dave Meltzer.
No, Dave Meltzer. No, I don't have my nose to anything other than I look at Twitter every so often. But that doesn't mean it wouldn't. I think it'd be awesome. I know here in like a month, NWA is having a pop-up show in Clarksville, Tennessee, which I Googled it. That's 2 hours from my house. It's a doable thing if I decided I wanted to run down there. But that would be a perfect tie-in or a cross promotion.
It's kind of what I've thought. I mean, to me, if they're looking to pretty much have more control, maybe All In was kind of the taste that they wanted. And maybe they do have backers, to help them. I could see them working with Billy Corgan and bringing the NWA into the fold. And that could be, that would already bring credibility to the promotion. You know what I mean? You're bringing the NWA championship, and maybe it's still where it can rotate places, but the home, because right now I believe that there's no real home for the NWA. There is championship wrestling from Hollywood's kind of the unofficial home for it, but maybe that promotion would whatever happens. But I mean, the only way that happens too is if you get TV. But my thinking on that is if they come up with a promotion, okay, and that includes Kenny, Cody, and the Bucks and Hangman, okay, they've got a place to be. I feel that they would still be doing stuff with New Japan, personally. Because, there's always been that kind of agreement that New Japan would let their guys wrestle in the United States. And I kind of feel that if they were the ones running that show, they might have the ability to still do both. Because I think that there's more of a spotlight to be shown on their talent if they're still involved with New Japan Wrestling. Because Ring of Honor, to me, Ring of Honor is rough to watch. I don't know about you, but I've had the Honor Club before. I don't know. It's got a lot of great talent, but
they do. It's very raw.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's why when I watch it, I just kind of go, there's something about it that's not making me jump up and go, yes. So I don't know about that.
We get it on a weekly basis. They do a 1-hour show on Saturdays and they replay it on Sundays.
Yeah, I watch it on Fight.
Well, this is our local market. So in our local market, you'll either pick up the Saturday evening show or the Sunday morning show. And you usually get about 3 matches.
Yep.
And it's, there's no production value like what you'd get for Monday Night Raw. It's just bare bones wrestling. And to me, I like it only because it reminds me of what I grew up on. That's what I started out watching.
Oh, yeah, the old territories. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Where, to me, that's what I like seeing now. Now, me 20 years ago would have been like, I'm not watching this garbage,
Well, because we got used to the 90s and the flair of WCW and WWE. But I think that's not my big problem is I just kind of sometimes feel like there's 2 levels of talent in Ring of Honor. You've got the elite, and then you got some of these guys that are lower, and sometimes when they're in the ring together, I'm just kind of like, because I watch.
It doesn't mesh.
Yeah, and I watch New Japan, and almost everyone who's out there, it meshes. Same way, right now with the way Impact's going, their talent meshes. And I feel that Ring of Honor, and it could be just the flux of trying to get the right talent in there, but I've always kind of felt in the last few years, it's been some guys should be wrestling, and then other guys have no business, being in the same ring with these folks. So I wouldn't have a problem, them saying goodbye to Ring of Honor. And from reports out there, supposedly the president of Ring of Honor has even said he doesn't expect them to re-sign. But
no, they've had so much talent go on to bigger and better things.
Yeah, but that could be a big blow too, because you sold out Madison Square Garden on WrestleMania weekend. Who the hell's going to be there? Besides Okada and Marty going at each other, what else is there from Ring of Honor's side that they're going to be able to pull in and make you go, I want to see this match?
I almost think that, and I know this is just pure speculation, but they got away with All In because the people they worked for looked the other way to let them do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Those guys were under contracts, and they could have said, there's no way somebody could have got hurt, and they're out. So I wouldn't go so far as to say they wouldn't return the favor. You know what I mean?
But if they're direct,
you've sold out. You've sold out Madison Square Garden. I would be very surprised if those guys didn't show up for that show.
Well, but I don't know.
They may have other things going. But.
Yeah. But if you're looking at forming a company that's going to be a direct competitor with Ring of Honor, I don't see it because it does them no good. If you're trying to bring this company off the ground and let people know that the only place you can see the elite is this new company we're starting, the last thing you want to do is show up on a major pay-per-view for Ring of Honor and confuse people. That's my own personal opinion. That's why I say New Japan could work because they've been doing that already. And I think it helps them, but I don't know. It's hard telling what's going on. We're not going to know, because these guys have all still got matches coming up at Wrestle Kingdom, because we've still got Kenny's going to defend his title versus Tanahashi. Cody's going to defend his title versus Juice Robinson. And you've got the Young Bucks in a triple threat with the Guerrillas of Destiny and Sonata and Evil. And I don't know. That's where I look at. I don't know what's going to happen there.
You know what? And that might be what they want because here we are talking about it, and you're gonna draw, like I said, draw more eyes on it. So where we are just falling right into what they want to see happen.
Well, I'll tell you what. I hope, and my wish is, don't go to WWE, guys. Whatever you do, don't go there. I know the money would be nice, but I think truthfully, if you do a new company and you have the right backing and you have the right people helping, I think now is the perfect time to do something like that. Because if you get a bunch of folks in there who have the money and are willing to put out there the money that needs to be put to create a organization that can compete, they might not compete with WWE right off the bat, but what you're looking at is trying to compete with Ring of Honor and Impact. And if you can do that, you've already got better talent than the other two organizations just by those guys. And you bring in your friends.
Yeah, let your talent be the talent. Don't give them 30 pages of scripts to memorize.
And I think that's the thing. People are tired of that.
Yeah, everyone can tell. I mean, yeah, if you're a little kid, you don't notice it. But the people who are bringing the kids and the people who are supposed to be at the home watching on a Monday night,
they're not there anymore.
No, because you turn it on and there's no, before there was believability or you suspended disbelief. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh gosh, this is awful. You know, this is worse.
Well,
than I remember from years ago.
The sad thing, too, and we've talked about this before, is sometimes they don't realize that if I'm not digging what you're doing, there's 20 other organizations that's got something on demand or maybe even doing a live show that I can watch right now. And I'll be more entertained. And truthfully, even your own network, if I think what you're doing is garbage and I say, I'm going to go back to WCW Nitro from 20 years ago, I could do that, too. And there's a lot of people right now that's what it is. So I think if they can put out a product that at least comes close to mimicking the feeling that you had watching All In, they're onto something. They really are onto something. And I'd like to see it succeed. And, you know, that could do more than All In did to change the way professional wrestling is done.
Yeah, and, you know, in all honesty, was All In. The thing that made that show so great, but besides the influx of talent that we got to see that we never thought we got to see, the thing that I thought was so perfect was that storylines were developed through a YouTube channel.
Yep.
They were allowed to play out over and over for months and months, and then they all ended at that one show. And you didn't have this start a segment and then drop it, never to be mentioned again.
Like the old days. Like the old days.
Exactly,
when you had
like the old days.
I mean, if you think about it, WrestleMania 4, okay? Think about who won that match, all right? The Macho Man. Macho Man wins that match, and that is the start of the buildup for Hogan versus Macho at WrestleMania 5. That was a whole year, and you know what? You don't see that anymore, and I think that's why some of these stories are interesting, because they're continuous. They follow. They don't just abruptly end, and you get a payoff, you know? You don't just leave you hanging. I mean, this like Joey Ryan. They didn't leave you hanging. Joey Ryan was there, and they told the whole story and how it ended. Boom.
I mean, that was the thing with that show that they put on that I loved the most. I mean, I had the most fun in 5 hours I've had in my entire life at a wrestling show.
Yep.
But to sit there and see everything come into place that I had been watching was just the cherry on top of the sundae. And it was like money well spent. I didn't go home mad. I didn't go home thinking, man, I just wasted my money on this garbage. You know, like most pay-per-views.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
There was actual fulfillment of stories, and it was fantastic. And I couldn't have been happier with it. And that's what they, you know, if they can somehow incorporate that into their new promotion, if they're going to do the promotion, that thing will take off.
Oh, yeah.
I have no doubt.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am looking forward to finding out what these guys decide to do. And hopefully it's going to be something else to change wrestling as we know it. Because you know what? There's a lot of people like us who are tired of the big machine, and we're all in on something brand new, something different. So hopefully that'll happen. And with that, let's jump right into a little hot tag time.
By God, it's a hot tag!
Tom, right. I will go ahead and give you a topic, and you tell me what you think, okay?
All right.
The Dynamite Kid.
Oh, Dynamite Kid, yeah. I was sad to hear that he passed, but I knew his health had not been good for a while.
Yeah.
But when I think Dynamite Kid, I think back to the British Bulldogs, and that was one of the best tag teams as a kid growing up to watch. I mean, they had it all. They had size, speed, you know, Chris Benoit, who most people don't mention anymore. He stylized his whole professional career after the Dynamite Kid. You know, he was a short guy with big stature that didn't wrestle like a short guy. Well, just one of the best tag teams ever.
Yeah.
You know, in my opinion.
Well, and he influenced so many wrestlers that you don't even think about. I mean, his time in Japan, you know, it changed how people wrestled. He was kind of at the forefront of a totally different type of style. And unfortunately, I think sometimes people forget.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do. I mean, it's one of those things that as time passes on, it's just something that natural that happens. You don't realize the effect that one person can have. But, you know, he influenced a ton of wrestlers.
Oh, yeah. All right, man, it's your turn.
Kevin Owens, El Generico. Sami Zayn. Let's see, both on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Strowman on the shelf. Is there anyone else that you can
Roman.
think of? And Roman. Who's going to save WWE?
Well, I mean, first of all, I really don't care because I don't watch the product.
Right.
But you know what? Here's the thing. If I read on Twitter, I see that the ratings keep going and the you-know-what. I mean, it just keeps happening. If I'm them, it's easy to save it. But Vince is so stubborn. Seth Rollins is the guy. He really is. But I also think that you need to move AJ Styles to Raw. AJ Styles is seriously the face of that company, more so than Seth Rollins. And there's some people that don't want to say it because Seth Rollins is a homegrown talent, but AJ Styles could carry this company by himself if you move him to Raw and make him the guy on that show. And you know what else I do? I take Ronda Rousey and put her on SmackDown. Ronda Rousey could be the face.
That would definitely draw more eyes to SmackDown.
Yes, it would. But I mean, you've got to move big name talent to Raw. And I mean, AJ Styles should be over there because you've got Daniel Bryan. He's killing it right now as a heel. And I think Styles on Raw, give me another Finn Balor and Styles match any day. So I don't know. That's my opinion. That's about all you do. Other than that, you're just going to have to wait till all these guys get healthy. All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. Keep listening and check out Twitter because we'll be announcing very soon the best of 2018 wrestling awards for the Under the Ring Report. Tom, I know you've got a few in your pocket, so it'll be interesting to hash out what each of us thinks are the best of 2018.
Oh, yeah, and my personal opinion. So, if you feel free to disagree, it won't hurt my feelings any. It's open to anyone.
Oh, yeah, we're already taking votes on Twitter right now, so jump in on the polls and let your voice be heard, and we'll catch you next time here on the Under the Ring Report.
This is Harley Race, and if you want to hear about wrestling and what's happening today, listen to Under the Ring.
Follow the Under the Ring Report on Twitter at UTRR Podcast. You can subscribe to the Under the Ring Report on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, or visit undertheringreport.com. Thanks for listening to the Under the Ring Report.